Part 5. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 41. Namikaze Minato looked at the melon in his hand, and then at the melon in front of Hinata Hikaru. It suddenly occurred to him that, as expected of Hinata Hikari, he actually had this method to occupy the watermelon to prevent others from taking advantage of him. How shameless! Many students were looking forward to it. Because Hinata Hikaru eats so sweetly. Hinata Hikari, who was eating watermelon with gusto, suddenly saw Dozawa and Senju Hasho appearing at the door. So, she cupped the watermelon in her hands towards the two of them and said seriously, "You two, have some watermelon too." "Hey, disgusting, who would eat a melon stained with your saliva?" Dozawa complained. "Also, hurry up and pack up the platform. Class will begin soon." In Hinata's eyes, Dozawa was as anxious as a monkey jumping up and down. This little psychosis was clearly intentional. Uchiha Futaba gritted his teeth and looked at Hinata Hikari. Now, everyone was attracted by what just happened and completely forgot about her previous challenge to Hinata Hikari. "Hikaru Hinata, don't just eat. Do you dare to accept my challenge?" Hinata looked up. The Uchiha girl in front of her was about the same age as her, but there was a chill on her originally pretty cheeks, and her tone was extremely arrogant. Hinata Hikari looked at Uchiha Futaba. She really lacked lessons. Certainly. Hinata Hikaru agreed immediately. Everyone was stunned. Unexpectedly, Hinata Hikari dared to agree to Uchiha Futaba's challenge in one breath. This little psychopath, no matter how arrogant she is, doesn't think she can defeat Uchiha. As a result, faces looking forward to the show appeared in the classroom. "Cannot." Hinata Hikari's unfinished 3 words were spoken slowly, making everyone who was looking forward to watching a good show feel as uncomfortable as eating flies. It was like taking a breath and suddenly it was blocked. Puff. In public, some people couldn't hold it back. This little psycho is so shameless. He actually spoke half-talkingly. "Well, there are less than 2 months until the departmental exam. By then, I'm afraid you will be persuaded to quit. If you already know the result, why don't you give up early?" Uchiha Futaba pretended to be serious, but in reality her malice was exposed. "This leader wants you to take care of it?" Hinata rolled her eyes and said lazily. Arrogant and sarcastic effects acts. The first person to popularize the use of emoticons in this world was probably Hinata Hikari. The expression she made was so lifelike that it made Futaba Uchiha tremble with anger. However, some people don't think so. In Namikaze Minato's view, this is the innocent and cute side of Hinata Hikaru. Different minds naturally have different thoughts. The corners of Uchiha Futaba's mouth twitched, and his eyelids were twitching. The knuckles of his 2 fists turned white. The head teacher, Doze, looked at the scene with a serious expression on his face. How should the conflict between the two be resolved? If it is an ordinary teacher and the ordinary way of doing things, it is best to separate the two people and treat it as if nothing happened. But that only treats the symptoms, not the root cause, and is superficial. It will only intensify the conflict between the two people. Maybe we should do the opposite. After pondering for a moment, Tangs looked at the two of them. "Hikaru Hinata, how about this? You will accept the challenge from Uchiha Futaba-san, with everyone watching." Tangzi mentioned the condition of having everyone watch. In this way, it not only protects Hinata Hikaru's safety, but also allows Uchiha Futaba to gain vanity satisfaction. Because in public, Uchiha Futaba had no chance to harm Hinata Hikari. It is best used to resolve the resentment of the small-minded Uchiha. "How about you show us? How about you get a piece of watermelon first?" Hinata blinked. "Hey, don't worry about the watermelon," Tangzi said frantically. Namikaze Minato thought for a moment and thought it was a good idea. Dozawa's idea must be that Uchiha Futaba beat up Hinata Hikaru's classmate. However, the fact is that it is very likely that the opposite is true. Xiangxiao watched the scene quietly. In the entire class, the only one he could speak to was Hinata Hikari. Now, even if there are any thoughts in my heart, they will only stay in my heart and no one will tell me. Therefore, he is not necessarily as calm as he appears on the surface. It is good. Hinata Hikaru tightened her expression and became calm. He immediately agreed to Tang's proposal. But I have a condition. I have the final say on what happens in the competition. Sure. Uchiha Futaba agreed immediately. Whether it's physical skills or ninjutsu, I'm here to help you. I hope you don't behave so badly. Malice began to emanate, and the corners of his mouth turned up even more, showing Uchiha's unique arrogance. Of course, you actually have nothing to lose. After being sarcastic, Uchiha Futaba waited for Hinata to reveal the test items. This leader is competing with you in throwing ninja tools. Hinata Hikari said this as she walked outside the classroom. The students looked at each other and followed suit. At the same time, they looked at Hinata with some sympathy. This Hinata Hikaru, what's wrong with the competition? It has to be a test of throwing ninja tools. Comparing throwing skills with Uchiha is not losing your mind. Doesn't she know what Yuman Nanku means? Really overestimating one's capabilities. The students were talking and began to rush outside the classroom, preparing to watch what would inevitably be a losing duel. What Hinata said was unexpected and reasonable. But everyone felt that this was her character, an extremely arrogant little psychopath. A few minutes later, students gathered in the open space in front of the teaching building. In one corner, there were many human-shaped targets and wooden stakes erected. Everyone is here, looking at Hinata Hikari and Uchiha Futaba standing in front of a human-shaped target, waiting for their competition to begin. Hikaru Hinata, do you really want to choose ninja tool throwing as a competition event? Dozawa asked again and again, but received a positive answer from Hinata Hikari. Of course. Hinata nodded her little head, with a natural look on her face. After that, she looked at Tangs again. The memory of a fish lasts 7 seconds. It seems that you, Tangzi, have less than 3 seconds because you have asked the leader many times along the way. Hey, I'm not even as good as a fish. I'm so sorry. Crazy Dozawa throws his hands. Little psycho, you don't have a few minutes to be arrogant. Uchiha Futaba raised the corners of her mouth and looked at Hinata Hikari with disdain. Her mood also improved a lot. After all, being able to torture Hinata Hikari in public is quite a pleasant thing. You look very proud. Hinata suddenly turned his head and said to Uchiha Futaba. Uchiha Futaba's reply was a cold snort. In other words, you think your throwing skills are the best in the class. When? However, no words were spoken. Because, Uchiha Futaba suddenly remembered that noon. Namikaze Minato's ninja tool throw, to a certain extent, killed her instantly. Therefore, Uchiha Futaba's face became extremely ugly in an instant. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 42. Gaga, why don't you speak? Hinata Hikari is the one who doesn't open the pot. Although she had no idea what happened at noon that day, it did not prevent Uchiha Futaba's resentment from building up again. The latter glared at her. You'll know right away if my ninja throwing technique is the best. Oh. Hinata replied calmly, and then stopped looking at Uchiha Futaba. That nervous look seemed even more abominable to Uchiha Futaba. Are you ready? Let's start. Dozawa, who was standing aside, announced the competition between the two. In full view of everyone, the ninja tool throwing technique between Uchiha and Hinata began. You know, this is a rare sight. Everyone couldn't help but look forward to it. On one side, there was the famous Uchiha in the ninja world, a clan as famous as the Senju clan. Everyone is looking forward to the Uchiha-style ninja tool throwing. On the other side, there is a little mental illness that the Hyuga clan has encountered in hundreds, oh no, maybe thousands of years. Don't expect this. As a result, most students wanted to see Uchiha Futaba beat Hinata Hikaru in a fancy way. Ri Xiangxiao looked around at everyone. Although Hinata's brain was indeed damaged, their taunts were indeed too harsh. Therefore, Ri Xiangxiao said calmly, "Don't speak too full of words." These words set off the crowd. "I really don't understand, Ri Xiangxiao, why do you want to defend Hinata Hikaru? Is it just because she is a member of your clan? But even if she is a member of the same clan, you are a noble clan member, and Hinata Hikaru is just a branch of the family." Inyazuka Bone seemed to be smiling but not smiling, and made sarcastic remarks. Suddenly, Ri Xiangxiao's eyelids twitched. "Yes, Hinata-san, you'd better not have your hopes up in her. How could Hinata-san be able to defeat Uchiha Futaba-san?" Some girls echoed, wanting to take this opportunity to get closer to Hinata-xiao. After all, Ri Xiangxiao's talent and indifferent and proud attitude attracted them even more. Hinata-xiao didn't know how to refute, especially Inyazuka Katsu's words. The topic of the Zone family and the branch families was like an iron wall erected around him, reminding him of the difference between the Zone family and the branch families all the time. "I'll come first." Futaba Uchiha took the lead, indicating that he would throw first. She glanced at Hinata Hikaru with disdain, as if the latter was destined to fail. But Hinata just stood there indifferently. Not curious, not nervous, and not looking around. Pretend, keep pretending, and see how long you can pretend. Uchiha Futaba put his hands into the ninja bag on his waist and took out 2 stacks of kunao. The clearing in Noda was silent. If it were normal times, someone would definitely be making a lot of noise. But now, it's different. Because, Uchiha Futaba may demonstrate the Uchiha clan's ninja throwing techniques today. That's an extremely rare thing. All the students are waiting for Uchiha Futaba's performance. I saw Uchiha Futaba taking a deep breath, and then his eyes suddenly opened. Drink. Brush. The intertwined hands suddenly waved and stretched to both sides. Following the sound of whizzing through the air, 2 black shadows shot through the air. As if to show off his clan's skills, Uchiha Futaba deliberately slowed down so that everyone could see the flight path of the shuriken clearly. 6 in total. He actually threw 6 of them at once. There was a sound of exclamation in the crowd. It doesn't matter if you throw 6. Some naughty kids can throw a lot. The problem is that it is very difficult to maintain a high number while also ensuring the flight trajectory. In full view of everyone, the 6 shurikens were divided into 2 groups. Left and right. They drew several trajectories at the same time, forming a splendid and dazzling performance in the air. Tuck tuck tuck. There was a muffled sound, and all the shurikens hit. The 4 shurikens hit the left and right sides of the doll's chest and abdomen. 2 shurikens hit the doll's left and right ribs. Suddenly, the audience fell silent. After a while, there was a burst of cheers, and everyone was excited that they could see the Uchiha clan's throwing techniques. Humph. Uchiha Futaba glanced at everyone proudly, with a proud smile on his face. Their reaction is natural. As expected of Uchiha Futaba-san, he can actually throw 6 shurikens at 6 angles. The Uchiha clan truly deserves its reputation. A group of girls came forward and complimented Uchiha Futaba constantly. Uchiha Futaba enjoyed this compliment very much. When she was proud, she glanced at Namikaze Minato. When she saw Namikaze Minato looking at Hinata Hikaru without noticing her at all, jealousy began to burn. The pretty face that was originally full of smiles began to lose its charm. What's so interesting about that little psycho? Uchiha Futaba suddenly turned his head and looked at Hinata Hikaru. I found that at some point, The clothes in front of Hinata Hikari became bulging. What happened? Uchiha Futaba was so proud that he had no idea what Hinata Hikari had just done. I'm afraid, that's why Namikaze Minato kept looking at Hinata Hikaru. Humph. No matter what she did, victory must belong to her. Uchiha Futaba was very confident. How about it? Uchiha Futaba asked very arrogantly. Hinata said nothing, but there was a calm and ethereal smile on the corner of his mouth. And this kind of smile, in the eyes of Uchiha Futaba, is so hateful and neurotic. After putting his white hands into the ninja tool bag, Hinata Hikaru calmly said, "It's my turn, leader." Pretend. Futaba Uchiha muttered viciously. Call. Unexpectedly, as soon as Hinata Hikaru took a deep breath, this single action frightened Uchiha Futaba. Because the incident of Namikaze Minato cutting off her kunao with a leaf seemed to become some kind of shadow, lingering in her mind. After all, that was scary. But then, Uchiha Futaba realized that Hinata Hikari would never have the strength of Namikaze Minato. Yes, she will definitely lose. Uchiha Futaba murmured, comforting himself. Hinata's little hand suddenly shook. The shuriken in his hand was thrown out. This act made everyone feel incredible. Futaba Uchiha threw 6 shurikens, but Hikaru Hinata only wanted to throw 1. Does she think that throwing 1 shuriken can defeat Uchiha Futaba's 6 shurikens? This is too arrogant, right? Or, this once again proves that the thinking of mentally ill patients is completely different from that of normal people. The shuriken thrown by Hinata Hikaru flew very softly. Ninja. Then, Hinata's face suddenly condensed, his expression was extremely serious, and his hands were forming seals quickly and randomly. What the hell? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 43. The students looked confused and didn't know why. But among those present, some people's expressions changed wildly, almost becoming a new shocked emoticon. He is a student of Dozawa and the Sarutobi clan. The first thing they thought of was, could it be that Hinata Hikari was using the legendary Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique? Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. Difficulty Level A. It belongs to the ultra-high difficulty level of Forbidden Magic Secrets. This is a ninjutsu created by the 3rd Hokage inspired by the Shadow Clone Technique developed by the 2nd Hokage. It uses chakra to increase the number of shurikens and form a sword formation like a dragnet. Divide a shuriken into tens, hundreds, or even thousands. It is a combination of ninja tools and ninjutsu. Shadow clones of this material are more difficult than ordinary shadow clones. No preparation is required in advance, and each shadow clone is an entity, which means each shuriken is extremely lethal. Hinata Guang, who had made a few random seals, put his hands into his robe and waved suddenly. Boo-hoo! A lot of shurikens were thrown out by her like scattered flowers. The surprised expressions on all the students' faces were in stark contrast to the shurikens flying in mid-air. They watched helplessly as a large number of shurikens fell limply in front of them, and none of them hit the doll. Throw all the shurikens away. Everyone. Alas. Hinata maintained the posture of throwing his hands, with a faint smile on the corner of his mouth. She knew that many people were waiting to see her joke. Looking forward to her being beaten by Uchiha Futaba. Unfortunately, they are destined to be disappointed. You win. Hinata retracted her posture, turned her little head sideways, and said to Uchiha Futaba. At this time, the audience was silent. Everyone has not yet recovered from Hinata Hikaru's throwing all shurikens outward technique. The eyes that were previously attracted by Uchiha Futaba's throwing skills were now completely shocked by the scene that Hinata Hikari had just caused. Because no one could have imagined that Hinata would meet Uchiha Futaba's challenge in such an indescribable way. After the dull expression, Uchiha Futaba was the first to react. Anger suddenly rose from her mind, as if a detonating talisman was set off. This little psycho. It's intentional. This kind of throwing as a joke was clearly mocking her Uchiha-style ninja throwing skills, and it was only worthy of her doing it. Hikaru Hinata. Uchiha Futaba's angry roar made the white-eyed girl who was picking up shurikens one by one back into her ninja bag raise her head. What else do you want? Hinata Hikari was holding a shuriken in her little hand. This shuriken was obviously meant to be recycled. Shurikens cost money. Throwing it out and leaving it alone is a waste of money. Only when you have accumulated a certain amount of money, or can you get shurikens everywhere, can you abandon this practice? Fu. Hinata blew the dust off the shuriken and stuffed it back into the ninja bag skillfully. This kind of performance makes people dumbfounded. Don't you have any sense of honor? Uchiha Futaba asked. What? Aren't you happy that you won? Hinata asked strangely. This leader has never seen such a person. Hinata said seriously. You. Uchiha Futaba suddenly became furious. Ha. Hinata yawned. If nothing goes wrong, I will go back to Mengjogong to go to the bird. Hinata turned around and walked towards the classroom. The competition with Uchiha Futaba was meaningless. If you had that time, it would be better to sleep a little longer so that you would have the energy to continue cultivating at night. After the competition ended, all the students still had no reply to their inner feelings. A sense of absurdity filled everyone's heart. Uchiha Futaba's victory seemed to take on a comical tone. And all of this was caused by Hinata Hikari, who was mocked by them, using the technique of throwing all the shurikens outward. Hikaru Hinata. Uchiha Futaba stopped the white figure with a cold shout. Our world is the world of ninjas. What is needed is strength, not cleverness. Your cleverness will not save you in the class test in 2 months. You will understand by then. After humiliating yourself, you still come out and say harsh words. Do you think you are a villain? Uchiha Futaba. Hinata Xiao suddenly stood up and looked at Uchiha Futaba with great disdain. You. What are you? You took the initiative to provoke Hinata Hikari, a member of our clan. Dare I ask, where did Hinata Hikaru offend you? Hinata Hikaru gave you a step down, and then deliberately lost to you because she knew that you, the Uchiha clan, wanted to save face, but you aggressive. Is this the Uchiha who is as famous as the Senju clan? Hinata Xiao is not much taller than Uchiha Futaba. But a strong oppressive force fell directly on her. Even if Hinata Xiao just closed her eyes, this power made Uchiha Futaba's face extremely ugly. Of course she knew Xiao's name. He was hailed as the greatest genius in the history of the Hyuga clan by Hyuga Hiten, the leader of the Hyuga clan, and Hyuga Ryatatsu, the elder of the Hyuga clan. Xiao's strength is naturally among the best among the younger generation. You can provoke Hinata Hikaru at will today, but in the future, can you also cause trouble for other people? Hinata Xiao casually slapped a hat on Uchiha Futaba. Hinata couldn't help but turn around and look back. She suddenly realized that Xiao had become smarter. After thinking about it, everyone carefully chewed on Xiao's words and found that it seems reasonable. As a result, someone looked at Uchiha Futaba differently. Hinata Xiao's long black hair fluttered in the wind. An invisible momentum arises spontaneously. He has vermilion lines on his forehead, is handsome, and has a pride that comes from within, which makes his words sound like thunder. He is born with a convincing attitude. Not everyone is as easy to talk to as Hinata Hikaru. Rixiang Xiao, will always be with you. I just hope that when you can't step down, you can remember that all of this was caused by your stupidity. Xiang Xiao said provocatively. This is called, using the way of others to treat the body of others. Isn't it a competition? Then stay with me anytime. Hey. Hinata Xiao, Uchiha Futaba-san is a girl, isn't your tone too harsh? A girl had a Madonna attack and said from the side. Girls. But Ri Xiang Xiao frowned. What? Isn't she human? Isn't Uchiha Futaba human? As soon as these words came out, Uchiha Futaba's face turned as ugly as possible. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 44. Ri Xiang Xiao's every word is exquisite, fully showing his true temperament. He dared to say what others dared not say. He dared to do things that others dared not do. Uchiha Futaba. Is it great? In full view of everyone, Hinata Xiao exposed Uchiha Futaba's shortcomings. The dark and negative emotions hidden in her heart were mercilessly exposed by Ri Xiang Xiao. One can imagine how bad Futaba Uchiha was feeling at this moment. But Ri Xiang Xiao, this guy, is stupid and has the character of never looking back even if he hits a wall. This leader is as great as Ri Xiang Xiao said. Yes, this leader is so compassionate and compassionate. Ri Xiang Guang whispered to himself, and then he let out a strange laugh, so beautiful that it bubbled up. Uchiha Futaba's eyes suddenly glanced over and saw Hinata Hikari, who was laughing strangely. She interpreted Hinata's smile as a sarcasm for herself. Therefore, he became even more angry and unbearable. Shame, this is the humiliation of Chikuakyo. Before the situation was about to get worse, Dozawa stood up immediately. He couldn't understand why a group of children were so violent. This class of students seems to be particularly difficult to lead. Everyone, please calm down. After all, we are all companions of the same village. You are still young. You may not understand now. When you grow up, you may one day need to rely on each other to fight against the common enemy. There is no need to be hostile to each other. Dozawa glanced at Uchiha Futaba. It was obvious that Uchiha Futaba was still unconvinced. After taking a look at Ri Xiang Xiao, the pride radiating from the bones of this clan boy of the Hyuga clan was even more impossible to ignore. One is an Uchiha with special properties. One is Hinata, who protects her tribe. And also, Dozawa looked at Hinata Hikaru, who was still smiling, this hot potato. When he heard that the Sandaime Hokage said that he wanted to put Hinata Hikaru in his class, Dozawa actually refused. But as time flies, Dozawa gradually regards Hinata as his real student. No matter which one, he doesn't want to be hostile to each other. But now it seems very difficult. It's good to have this unconvinced momentum, but it must be used in the right place. Tangs pondered for a moment. There will be less than 2 months until the class test. If you want to prove yourself, there is no need to rush now. When the time comes, Lord Sandaime Hokage is said to be attending the ceremony in person. When the time comes, let's defeat each other openly on the stage. Just like that, the students dispersed and started walking to the classroom. Uchiha Futaba clenched his fists and stared at Hinata Hikaru's back. Let's see how I deal with you in 2 months. Maybe before I can deal with you, someone else will deal with you. That would be more interesting. Hinata, on the other hand, ignored the glare in his back. No matter how many eyes were on her, Hinata Hikaru would not have any special thoughts. Isn't it normal for her to be the leader of Tongtian cult and attract attention? In the crowd, Hinata Hikari and Hinata Xiao walked together. You don't have to stand up for my leader, Hinata Hikaru said. No, I'm not doing it for you. Ri Xiang Xiao said proudly. Even if it were someone else who was treated like this, I would stand up for it. Gaga, then you must become a partner of justice. Hinata Xiao's words were half true and half false, but it reminded Hinata Hikari of a person, a teammate from his previous life. However, that teammate should still be in his hometown now, and his transfer was later than Uzumaki Kushina. Do not. Ri Xiangxiao suddenly stopped. I don't work for justice, because there is no absolute justice in this world. I just want to have clear thoughts. After Ri Xiangxiao finished speaking, he left quickly. Hinata looked at his back, thinking a little. After all, Ri Xiangxiao is different from her teammates who always carried out justice. But no matter what, the matter of helping myself out has definitely happened. Well, let's treat him to Ichiraku ramen. Hinata Hikari decided where to go next time. And this sentence happened to be heard by Namikaze Minato. Namikaze Minato scratched his golden hair, rolled his eyes, and a gentle smile appeared on his face. That afternoon. Konoha Mission Release Point. This is close to the Hokage building, which is considered the building next door. Many ninjas were coming and going inside and outside the several-story building. In Konoha, you have to go through here to accept tasks or issue tasks, and all kinds of task-related procedures are also handled here. In addition to issuing tasks, he is also responsible for cashing out funds. So, there is a treasury here. However, there are probably no thieves trying to steal here. Because if you do that, you will probably be beaten to death by the Konoha ninjas and Umbu who are guarding here at all times. In addition, after going deep, there is a unique cave here. The place called the Scroll Storage is right here. Konoha ninjas who have completed missions and accumulated a certain amount of contributions or mission times can redeem scrolls for ninjutsu, taijutsu, illusions, etc. This is also one of the important ways for Konoha civilian ninjas without blood successors or family inheritance to acquire ninjutsu. The Konoha staff responsible for assisting are basically ninjas. Officials appointed by the Fire Country's daimyo were also among them. Normally, the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen would arrange mission releases here. Sometimes, several other high-level officials in Konoha, such as the elder Koharu and Mito Manabu, serve on his behalf. At dusk in the afternoon, it was still busy here. The third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, sat in the main seat and was busy arranging tasks for Konoha. Soon, three figures walked in from outside the gate, immediately attracting everyone's attention. A tall young man with white hair, Jiraiya was known as the madman of the village in this era when the Second Ninja War had not yet broken out and he had not yet obtained the title of Sunin. Orochimaru, who is black, long, and straight, has a graceful and confident face, and has a pale face. And finally the granddaughter of the first Hokage Senju Hashirama, Princess Tsunade with blonde hair and graceful figure. Of course, apart from compliments, the main reason for the word princess is that there are too many violent elements. Many Konoha ninjas were frightened and gave the impatient Tsunade the title of princess. Describing Tsunade as like her ancestors gives people a headache. The appearance of the three people caused many Konoha ninjas to turn their attention. Among them, most of them showed admiration and envy. Because, Jiraiya and the other three are direct disciples of Sarutobi Hiruzen. You three have completed another S-level mission. The Konoha ninja with a square face, narrow eyes, and an ordinary appearance named Mumu Kautana spoke. Maybe, many people don't know Mumu Gongdeo. But Mumu Kautana is Konoha's elite jounin, and is qualified to act with Tsunade and others. In the original work, the ninja who stopped Tsunade from continuing to treat the dead Kato Dan and emphasized the fact that Kato Dan was dead was Mumu Kautana. He looked at the three of them with a smile on his face. Thanks to book friend Kanglin Echo 2000 for the reward. Thanks to book friend Long Live My King, book friend 201811171104016021,000 for the reward. Thanks to book friends Mingri and Charlotte 0500 for the tip. Thanks to book friend Yuen Guang for coming out and being beaten for a reward of 200. Thanks to book friends 201905142147511875, Laoang Game Almighty, Disaster, and Haytake 100 for the reward. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 45. Looking at Hinata, who was standing casually with a strange smile on his face, Uchiha gritted his teeth and suddenly got up from the ground. This time, he used a kunao. Buzz. Light blue chakra flows on the kunao. Compared with adding chakra to the fist, the cutting power of this method will be improved several times. In other words, Uchiha is really serious. Without any hesitation, Uchiha grabbed the kunao and stepped forward. The figure rushed straight towards Hinata Hikari, who was very close in front of him. The waving kunao tore the air, making a hissing sound. A blue cold light bloomed in the air, and then went straight in front of Hinata. This move of enchanting ninja tools with chakra once again aroused exclamations from the crowd. Uchiha is very confident. This move can even cut through metal. Hinata Hikaru calmly looked at the approaching enchanted ninja tool and smiled. The clouds are clear and the wind is light. She slowly put her left hand behind her back, with her right hand in front. Wait until the distance is close enough and you are about to be scratched. Hinata's body suddenly dwarfed, and Uchiha suddenly jumped into the air. Hinata, who was squatting down, used the strength of his preparation to sweep across with his kick. Konoha Gale. Under the arc-shaped sweep without warning, Uchiha's expression changed, and he felt as if his legs were about to break. Konoha Gale, D-level taijutsu. It is one of the basic taijutsu at the beginning of Konoha style. And Konoha Tornado, which specializes in the middle and upper plates, and Konoha Gale, are moves specifically targeted at the enemy's lower plates. It starts quickly and violently, specifically to restrain those fools who are slow to punch. Boom. After Hinata's light hit Uchiha, the latter flew into the air. Hinata turned half a circle to face the crowd and stood with her hands behind her back. Behind her, Uchiha-ran's body was still spinning uncontrollably, and finally landed with a crash. Once again, the whole place was silent. Dozawa, Michiko, and the students looked at the scene with dull expressions on their faces. Once again, Hinata knocked Uchiha to the ground. So relaxed and freehand, it looks effortless. This is Hinata Hikari, who has always been despised by everyone, but has recently risen like a new star. Her physical skills are so precise. The whole person is as dazzling as a star. There is not a single useless movement, everything is flowing smoothly, reaching the peak. Because they were so surprised, everyone even forgot that the Hyuga clan was not good at Goken. There is no doubt that Hinata Hikaru did not use soft fist. It's not that it's not used, it's that it's not necessary. Instead of thinking about dividing the family members as soon as you use it, you can only use the 8 diagrams palms. It's better to use other general-purpose moves freely. The second Hokage Senju Tobiramo left countless precious legacies for future generations. The Konoha fluid technique used by Hinata Hikaru came from the hands of the ancestors. This little guy is really secretive. Jiraiya crossed his arms over his chest and smiled. Compared to Namikaze Minato, who knew a lot about Hikaru, Jiraiya had only seen Hikari take action a few times. Although it's only D-level, it's a lousy taijutsu that even a serious ninja can use twice. But Hinata used the essence. Jiraiya is sure that no one among his peers can use it better than Hinata. Of course, it would be more appropriate for you to decide on this matter. Jiraiya turned around and looked at the beautiful companion beside him. What do you think? Tsunade. Well, this little girl has mastered the physical skills handed down from her second grandfather to the point of perfection. Tsunade nodded. Among the three, Tsunade is the strongest in taijutsu. When it comes to speaking, Tsunade is the most qualified. It is most appropriate for her to judge Hinata Hikaru's level of physical skills. Then, Tsunade sighed softly. How many times do you have to repeat this to become so concise? Many ninjas can do this if they insist on practicing. But repeating a D-level physical technique thousands of times. This is no longer something ordinary people can do. Most people can't stand this kind of loneliness and irritability, and end up aiming too high, pursuing stronger physical skills and moves. This happens too many times. He. Orochimaru smiled, his eyes flashed, and he appreciated Hinata Hikaru even more. Even if you are a genius, there are times when you are not aware of it and you have to study hard and practice hard. He knew that feeling very well. What kind of move are you doing? Uchiharan was half kneeling on the ground, his legs still hurting. He looked at Hinata Hikaru in disbelief, not thinking that Hinata Hikaru could sweep him with just one move of Konoha Gale Wind. Quack. Hinata smiled. If you want to learn, I'll teach you. This reaction was understood by Uchiharan as Hinata's ridicule of him again. His cheeks were twitching and his teeth were clenched. The accumulated anger caused Uchiha's chakra to begin to rise. Feeling the rising momentum, Hinata didn't move, but looked at Uchiharan leisurely, hoping that he could come up with some new tricks. Fire escape. Uchiharan began to form seals. After noticing the fire escape seal, Hinata Hikari's cute little face showed a little disappointment. Another huge fireball? Not. Wrong. Immediately, 3 of his peers noticed something strange. They are Hinata Hikaru, who is observing this scene. Minato Namikaze has the most reflexes in the ninja world. There is also Hinata Xiao, whose senses are fully activated. It's the Phoenix Immortal Fire technique. Dozawa and Michiko, who are knowledgeable, recognized this fire escape ninjutsu. A hint of coldness flashed across Uchiharan's eyes. After completing the seal, inhale suddenly. Place one hand in front of your mouth and one hand behind you. This is the preparation stage for ninjutsu. Phoenix Immortal Fire Art. Bang. 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 A series of roaring fireballs flew out from in front of Uchiharan's mouth. Each fireball was about the size of an adult's fist, like scattered impatience seeds, sweeping towards Hyuga Hikaru from all directions in the form of a rain of fire all over the sky. The Phoenix Immortal Fire technique, the acquisition difficulty level is C. Each fireball is controlled by chakra. Therefore, it is very difficult to dodge compared to the powerful fireball that has never killed anyone. Although the initial speed was very slow enough for Hikaru Hinata to tell the complete appearance of this technique in front of everyone, however, under the control of Uchiharan, the fireballs all over the sky suddenly accelerated. Fireballs fell like death meteors one after another, and they were about to destroy Hinata. Water escape. Hinata Hikaru made several very short seals, which were ridiculously short. The onlookers around him even thought that Hinata had only made one seal. But in the end, they recognized that Hikari was using water escape. Iron Gun Jade. Hinata also took a deep breath and exhaled suddenly. Water balls gathered in front of her mouth and flew forward like a barrage of cannons. Under everyone's incredulous gaze, multiple water balls collided with the Phoenix Immortal Fire technique in the air. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 46. Ichiraku Ramen is a newly opened ramen shop in Konoha. The owner of the ramen shop, Shouda, welcomed 3 new customers. I didn't expect the ramen at this restaurant to taste so delicious. Rice Yangxiao held the chopsticks, her indifferent face had long been replaced by shock. It was as if he had seen some superb physical skills, showing an expression of astonishment. There really aren't many things that can make him like this. You can also see from here how delicious Ichiraku ramen is. Hinata Hikaru was eating ramen, and sitting next to her was Minato Namikaze, who was also eating ramen. Boss Narrow Eyes, your craftsmanship is still very good. In the future, I will come to visit you often. Being called a squinty-eyed boss is a slap in the face. As one of the most famous characters in the original Naruto novel, hand fighting can be said to be present throughout the entire work. Under the influence of the will of the universe, even Hikaru Hyuga cannot escape the law of Ichiraku Ramen. The hand beating at this time is no longer as old as it will be in the future. Now Shandai is only 16 years old, and he is still a handsome, squinty-eyed boy. He has been learning from his master since he was a child, and now he is a successful apprentice. This year he finally made up his mind to open a ramen shop of his own and become a ramen chef. It is now the third day of opening. As long as your guests are satisfied. The man wearing a white chef's hat said with a smile. His smile can make people feel warm in their hearts. Shouta did not look down upon the guests because they were children, but instead entertained them with great enthusiasm. But I still have some doubts in my heart. Who is this leader? Namikaze Minato seemed to see his boss's doubts. He quietly pointed at his head with his finger, and then shook his head. Shouta was stunned for a moment, and then he suddenly realized. Such gestures and movements are usually used to refer to. I didn't expect that this little girl from the Hinata family would be so successful at such a young age. Hi guest. Hans picked up some ingredients with big chopsticks and put them into Hinata Hikaru's bowl. Naruto rolls with pink lines, flaked kelp, pickled eggs, grilled pork slices, and braised bamboo shoots. This is a gift. Congratulations on becoming our 100th customer. Tate showed a big smile. Quack, boss, you are such a good person. Really? And he is very handsome. He will definitely marry a very beautiful wife in the future. Haha, thanks for your good words. Feeling happy, he added a lot of ingredients to Hinata Hikari. Rixiangxiao. Namikaze Minato. After that, the hand beaters started getting busy. After all, he is the only one running this store, and he has to do everything himself. Cut kelp, cut Naruto roll. Then, Tate discovered that there were not many Naruto scrolls left. Taida couldn't help but look at Hinata Hikaru's big hand and found that it was full of Naruto scrolls. This is a rare thing. He remembered that Hinata Hikaru seemed to like eating Naruto rolls just now, so he added some more for her. A Naruto volume. You look like a simple fish ball with a pale background and a pink spiral in the center. I never thought that one day, someone would actually like you. In Tate's memory, Hinata Hikaru was probably the first customer who liked eating Naruto rolls. Then just cut more Naruto rolls. Hinata was eating ramen in a hurry, which was completely different from Hinata Xiao who was eating silently. In other words, in the world's perception, Hinata Hikaru is very unladylike. But Namikaze Minato thought that this was a natural expression of her innocence and unpretentiousness. When Namikaze Minato was secretly observing Hinata Hikaru, he found that Hinata was eating ramen and watching handmade ramen. To be precise, it was the technique of handmade ramen. Add the ramen noodles to the pot smoothly until cooked. Then add it to different soups. Finally, various condiments and toppings are skillfully and artistically added to the top of the ramen. Of course, various toppings will be the finishing touch of the entire bowl of ramen. As the night gets darker, there are more and more guests. This small shop has only been open for a few days, but it is unexpectedly popular. I believe that within a few years, Handa will be able to move from this remote corner of Konoha to the center of the village with more people and a larger store. After Hinata Hikaru and the other three finished eating, Tezada smiled friendly at them. Welcome to visit again next time. A warmth flowed in the hearts of the three of them. It is precisely to protect the kind villagers and protect their smiles that the existence of Konoha ninjas is necessary. Namikaze Minato turned his head and looked at Hinata Hikaru's side face. There is no doubt that this girl from the Hyuga branch is also a member of the village. Uchiha Futaba's matter finally evolved to the point where Namikaze Minato shook his head over it. Hikaru Hinata-san. Namikaze Minato took a deep breath, his blue eyes flashing. Let's give it a try. The next morning, Tang Ziyi walked into the classroom with a serious look on his face. Seeing his appearance, the students couldn't help but sit upright because those rarely showed such an expression. The pop quiz begins. The sound of students frying pots resounded throughout the scene. Don't complain, this is a matter decided jointly by all teachers. After everyone was quiet, Doze looked around at his students. There are less than 2 months until the departmental test, and today's surprise attack is a preview. It is also screening. The ninja world has been peaceful for too long, it has been as long as 20 years. Although after the first ninja war, various countries suffered heavy casualties. But so many years of reproduction have restored the national strength of various countries. Some people are starting to feel uneasy. Whether it is Tsunagaku, Kyumigaku, Iwagaku, Kirigaku or even Konoha, there are fighting factions, as well as neutral factions that can fall over at any time. With the rise of the martial arts faction, the Second Ninja World War is very likely to break out. Selecting top students, focusing on training, and treating them as new blood and a future that can be entrusted to them is one of the decisions of Konoha's top management. Whether it is a surprise test or a class test, they are actually all preparing for the Second Ninja War. Hikari. Tangs walked up to her and dang banged his fingers on the table several times. Don't sleep. Well. Just then, Hinata moaned like a small animal. Where has Senju Hashirama gone? After waking up in a daze, there were words that Tangs couldn't understand. Hinata Hikaru just had a dream. Just eat the meat from Senju Hashirama. Hey, don't talk nonsense to me all day, wake up quickly. Before Hinata Hikari could continue talking nonsense, Dozawa immediately interrupted her. Then, several items for the pop quiz were announced. First of all, transfiguration. Tangs took a pen and paper and began to record the results on the student list on the spot. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 47. Transformation technique is one of the basic 3 body techniques. The difficulty level is E level. It is a ninja school student level difficulty. In the ninja world, it is an entry-level ninjutsu that most ninjas can use. If you can't even use the transformation technique, it's probably not that he almost kicked out the finale, but that he's just a comedian. Sarutobi Denma. The name of Denma Sarutobi was called, that is, the chubby boy who planned to bully Hinata Hikaru on the first day of school. He snorted and wandered to the podium. Transfiguration. A burst of smoke rose up, exactly the same, but different. The teacher Dozawa who transformed from Sarutobi Denma became a fat man weighing more than 300 kilograms. The students were stunned for a moment, then laughed with glee. Hinata Hikaru also smiled. But it is the reappearance of memory. In the previous life, the same was true for Sarutobi Denma. Quiet and quiet. A tic-tac-toe appeared on Mr. Dozawa's forehead, and he maintained order in the classroom while recording results. Next, the students whose names were called came forward one after another. Some transformed into a thin man, some transformed into a tall man, all kinds of things, and there were endless jokes. Of course, there are also good students and top students, who can easily complete the transformation technique. Sun Xiang Xiao. Tangs called Hinata Xiao's name. Everyone suddenly thought that it would be easy for Hinata Xiao to complete this ninjutsu. That is natural. However, the problem is transfiguration. Smoke rose, and Hinata Xiao, who had completed the seal, transformed into Dozawa's appearance. However, this Tangs is very unhappy. I saw that he had his eyes closed and looked cold. Don't talk to me no matter who you are. I, Hinata Dozawa, have no feelings. So this is what I look like when I take the aloof route. Dozawa murmured. Hinataxio-san, Your transformation skills are very good, but the expression you imitate is not the same, and it can be easily seen through by the enemy. Not only does it look different, it's simply not the same at all, right? Humph, I don't think there is any mission that requires you to disguise yourself as you. Hinata Xiao said coldly, and then walked off the stage with disdain, leaving only Doze with a twitching mouth. Still is. I really don't give him any face at all. Forget it, Xiang Xiao treats everyone like that anyway. Doze shook his head and continued to announce the next student's name. Namikaze Minato. The one whose name was called was Minato Namikaze, who had short golden hair. Hi. Minato Namikaze responded and slowly walked onto the stage. He is wearing a white sportswear and blue sweatpants today. He looks like a handsome young lady. Unlike the aloof Hinata Xiao, Namikaze Minato, who is as gentle as a little sun, is also popular with many girls. As for the male students, they think Namikaze Minato is a little too weak and a bit effeminate. He is always smiling, and he looks like a good-natured person at first glance. Of course, there was a lot of jealousy in this evaluation. After all, Namikaze Minato was so good. Transfiguration. Namikaze Minato was familiar with the seal, and after the smoke rose, an extremely perfect mirror image appeared in front of everyone. Oh! The students opened their mouths slightly and exclaimed in admiration. Even Mr. Dozawa was a little stunned. There is no way, among all the students so far, Namikaze Minato has the most perfect transformation technique. It should be said that there are no flaws at all. Even his facial expressions are imitated perfectly. Really awesome. Tangs was thinking this, and suddenly realized that he had lost his composure, and coughed hard to cover it up. Ahem, Namamai Feng Shuiman, perfect score. Next, Uchiha Futaba. Uchiha Futaba, whose name was called, walked up to the front and performed the transformation technique. After the smoke rose, a man with an unusually similar appearance appeared here. But he looked a little gloomy. It's like the villain version, or the dark version of Dozawa. Well, is this how I take the evil path? Tangs whispered softly. Ahem, Uchiha Futaba, your transformation skills are also good, but like Hinata Xiao, you need to figure out the target's demeanor and other details carefully. Uchiha Futaba ignored Dozawa, but glanced at Hinata Hikaru provocatively. It seems that she thinks she is better than Hinata Hikari. Hinata's reaction was to roll her eyes and yawn. This moment made Uchiha Futaba very angry. Next, Hikaru Hinata. After Dozawa announced his name, Uchiha Futaba walked down the front desk. When passing by Hinata Hikaru, he whispered fiercely, "Let's see how you pretend now." She seems to think that Hinata Hikari's transformation technique will definitely make her look ugly. Come on, Hinata Hikari-san. At this moment, the words next to him were like a spring breeze, sweeping away the gloomy atmosphere. Uchiha Futaba turned her head suddenly and saw Namikaze Minato cheering for Hinata Hikari. This time, her expression became even more distorted. Humph! Hinata Xiao snorted coldly, seeming to remind Uchiha Futaba not to be too arrogant. Uchiha Futaba clenched her fists and then unclenched them. After all, there was no on-site attack. Quack! Hinata smiled strangely as he walked up to the front desk, and walked up to the front desk with arrogant steps in full view of everyone. Finally, it's my leader's turn to perform, but I want to keep a low profile. What is the passing score standard? I just need to pass the test. Hinata Hikari's understatement made many students suddenly cover their chests and take 2 steps back. They only felt like they could barely catch their breath. Look, is this a human language? Too arrogant and shameless. The originally peaceful classroom once again made waves. A bunch of accusations, or boos, started to sound. Hikaru Hinata, why don't you pretend to be capable of death? Immediately, the crowd was excited. I can't help it, this is so irritating. Hinata's disguise is actually better than that of the Uchiha clan. I can't bear this. Quiet and quiet. Teacher Dozawa knocked hard on the blackboard, and it took a while to calm everyone down. After that, he turned around and scolded Hinata. Hyuga Hikaru, stop talking nonsense and use the transformation technique now. Huh, you're talking nonsense. Hinata Hikaru hummed a few times before forming a seal with his hands. Transfiguration. After a burst of smoke rose, everyone gasped in unison. Hinata's transformation technique is indeed powerful, and it's over the top. Dozawa, 23 years old, is an elite Chuunin in Konoha and has an ordinary appearance. But Hinata added some spices. God's robe and Hokage hat are obviously Dozawa's limited edition Hokage skins. The entire class of 30 students, 29 students excluding Hinata Hikari, were all stunned. They had no idea that there was such a way to play. Look, Mr. Dozawa is so excited that he got under the table. Some students noticed that Doza's legs were weak and he panicked. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 48. Six Paths Sage, I, Dozawa, have absolutely no intention of becoming Hokage. This is the true inner thought of Dozawa, the teacher of ninja school. There is no way, this Hinata is committing a big death. Tangs, this leader has said that I want to keep a low profile, but you refuse. As of now, you can decide the score yourself. Hinata Hikaru said, releasing the transformation technique. Full score for Hinata, absolutely perfect score. Dozawa emerged from under the table and shouted loudly. Like a mental patient who says I'm hit, I'm hit. While the students were baffled, they were also unhappy with Dozawa's grading. Why does Hinata Hikaru get perfect marks? They don't understand. I don't understand either, Ri Xiangxiao asked as Hinata walked back to the corner. Quack, it's better not to know. Hinata put her little hands behind her back and smiled. You are young. Hinata added another sentence. Rixiangxiao. After silence, Ri Xiangxiao said, I'm not young anymore. I really want to know. Of course. He wasn't excited, he was scared. Hinata Hikari pointed at the frightened Dozawa and said. When Ri Xiangguang said this, Ri Xiangxiao became even more confused. Gaga, it's very simple. Have you ever heard an adult say that he wants to be Hokage? Ri Xiangxiao thought about it and found that there seemed to be no. Yes, why do no adults in Konoha say they want to be Hokage? Fortunately, Ri Xiangguang did not continue to test Ri Xiangxiao's poor experience in social affairs. When a child becomes Hokage, it can be said that he is innocent. If you have correct values to guide adults, you have to be more mature and not so naive. If you have no blood, you still want to be Hokage. Hinata Hikaru, who was telling the truth, curled her lips and looked a little disgusted. The son of the Hokage is the Hokage, the son of the staff officer Nara is the staff officer, and the son of the intelligence boss Yamanaka is the intelligence department. The theory of blood is deeply rooted in this world. This routine is really boring. What about your ideal? Ri Xiangxiao asked again. It seems that the shocking fact just now did not make him feel much doubt about life. After all, the setting of the Hyuga clan's clan and branch families is dark enough. Didn't my leader tell me about my leader's journey? Hinata's exquisite and clear eyes began to shine with a different light. The journey of my leader is the Sea of Stars. Rixiangxiao. Within one class, the results of the transformation test came out. Hinata ranked first. While this result was shocking, many students were dissatisfied. They were angry, but there was nothing they could do. Because Dozawa insists on Hinata Hikari's first place unwaveringly. As a result, a group of students geared up to take revenge by killing Hikaru Hinata in the second test. The atmosphere is good. Tangs looked around the classroom and was very satisfied. Then, the second test was announced. Clone technique. The moment Dozawa made the announcement, the classroom became silent, and the atmosphere suddenly died. Each student looked out the window or sighed. They are all very sad, especially sad. There is no way, everyone knows that Hinata can create 108 clones. Not a rival at all. Before the battle, I feel timid. When Hikaru Hinata walked onto the podium, all the students were in despair. What's even more annoying is, you guys give in, otherwise my leader's clone won't be able to stand anywhere for a while. Hinata Hikari waved her hand as a matter of course, signaling the students to retreat. Despite their reluctance, a group of students gathered towards the back of the classroom. Clone technique. Sunlight seal. 108 clones appeared in the classroom accompanied by banging smoke. The pen in Dozawa's hand hesitated for a moment, and finally, with a slight trembling, he recorded Hinata's results. Although I had watched Hinata's performance once, when I watched it for the second time, I was still deeply shocked by this scene. Because, since the founding of Konoha, no one has been able to practice the E-level clone technique to this extent. Regardless of whether it is useful or not, to a certain extent, this is extremely powerful. In the end, Hinata Hikaru crushed the entire crowd with 108 clones. Even students like Namikaze Minato and Hinata Xiao were like scum in front of her. Real crushing and toughness, no need to explain. No one is her match. There is no way, because normal people will not spend too much energy on this E-level ninjutsu. They could only shake their heads and sigh. I feel so unhappy. Yes, this little psycho one. Why am I so upset? Who knows, maybe it's our self-esteem as normal people that is at work. While the students were discussing, they continued to belittle Hinata Hikari by beating around the bush. Hinata looked around at the crowd, feeling their sour grapes mentality of being angry and unable to do anything, and suddenly burst out laughing. Being too good is not necessarily a good thing. As Hinata Hikari said this, there were sounds of vomiting blood all around. No way, it's so annoying. Having achieved perfect scores and first place twice in a row, Hinata Hikaru has shown a crushing appearance. This can't help but put a lot of pressure on the students. Hikaru Hinata, who was looked down upon by them and often ridiculed, why did she end up in the first place inexplicably? Many students have begun to doubt life. I wonder if they have wasted their time in the past 4 months. I doubt Hinata Hikari could get first place even if she slept in class. If she didn't sleep, wouldn't she be able to go to heaven? Of course, some students still refuse to be outdone. There's still a test coming next, Hikaru Hinata, don't be complacent. That is. Suddenly, echoes sounded. Quack, this leader is not proud. Hinata Hikari explained, with a humble and smiling face. Presumptuous. To other students, Hinata Hikari's proud expression seemed like her little tail was raised to the sky. All he needs to do is write the word satisfaction on his face. My leader is extremely talented. It's natural to get first place. I can't say it anymore. I need to be low-key, low-key. Many students immediately discovered that they wanted to beat Hinata Hikaru right now. Some even wailed. That makes you angry. Okay, Hinata Hikari, please collect your magical powers. In the end, even Doze couldn't stand it anymore. He slapped the podium, feeling angry, funny, and helpless. You said he has been teaching students for several years, how come he met someone so different from ordinary people like Hikaru Hinata? My heart can't bear it. Next, the third test, substitute technique. Dozawa announced the next items to be tested. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 49. Substitution Jutsu, one of the three body techniques, is an E-level basic ninjutsu. By carving talismans on wood or other items, you can prepare in advance, and when it comes time to fight, you can achieve instant transfer and replacement spells. Students came on stage one after another, either completing or failing to complete. Tangs also recorded everyone's results on paper. When it's Hinata's turn. Crimson clone. Boom. A red shadow appeared. Everyone recognized it as the weird physical clone of Hinata Hikaru. Being able to use physical clones at the level of a ninja student is quite astonishing. But the problem is, Hikari Hinata, this test is about the substitute technique, Dozawa emphasized calmly. Gaga, it's a substitute. This is the substitute of my leader. I am the first substitute ninja in the ninja world. Hinata Hikaru started talking nonsense seriously. Everyone. Dozawa said that he didn't understand what Hinata Hikari was talking about at all. But at least he understood that Hinata was just here to play. Stop making trouble, use the substitute technique quickly. But the leader refused. Hinata's face suddenly changed, he opened his posture and made an extremely weird posture. Hold your chin with your left hand, place your right wrist against your left elbow, stand your left leg upright, and bend your right leg. My favorite thing is to say no to those self-righteous guys. The posture called JoJo's standing was shown to the ninja world for the first time. In all senses, Hinata Hikaru's title as the first substitute ninja is well deserved. Tangs didn't know how this test passed. All he knew was that he filled in full marks on Hinata Hikari's report card in a daze. Maybe it's because Hikaru Hinata's JoJo is too magical. Damn it, I must be under an illusion. Tang Ziyi glanced at the time with a look of sorrow and anger, and came to the fourth period. Good efficiency. But the fourth test cannot be completed in one class. In addition, the students' physical strength and chakra have been depleted. Just leave it until the afternoon. Okay, I'll be here first this morning. Amid the cheers of the students, the test came to an end. During the rest of the class, the students were either thinking about their grades or discussing what kind of test they would have in the afternoon. And among the entire classroom, the one who was most energetic was undoubtedly Hinata Hikaru. With an absolute crushing force, she surpassed all the primary school students and became the veritable number one. The kind of pride that you try your best to pretend to be calm, but in fact can't hide, makes people laugh. At least, after Namikaze Minato saw such Hinata, a gentle smile of sunshine bloomed on his face. You're still as innocent as before, Hikari-san. After that, Namikaze Minato moved his eyes and looked to the other side. Uchiha Futaba. Many top students in the class performed very well. It is quite satisfactory. But it can only be described as quite satisfactory. After all, Hinata's approach is very different. This also brought Hinata's score directly to the first place, while other students either lost 1 point or 2 points and rank second. Just be clever. Futaba Uchiha gritted his teeth and looked at Hinata Hikaru, clenching his pink fists tightly. The reason why the points were deducted was all because of Hinata Hikaru. Uchiha Futaba determined this. Her vicious gaze was naturally noticed by Hinata. Hinata Hikari's next words almost made Uchiha Futaba angry to death. Gaga, don't be angry. Anger will make you ugly. It's true. The words were so sincere that they moved people to tears. However, Uchiha Futaba's face was directly distorted. Usually, what is the most important thing to a girl? Of course it's the looks. Especially those like Uchiha Futaba, who are beautiful and have been praised since childhood. The peers around her didn't even have time to praise her, so who would say that she looks ugly? But the problem is, Hinata Hikaru openly called her ugly in public. How could Uchiha Futaba accept this? Therefore, Uchiha Futaba bit his silver teeth and glared at him. What are you talking about, you little psycho? Hinata flipped her right hand. This move startled Uchiha Futaba. She thought Hinata was going to attack her. But in fact, Hinata just took out a small mirror from his body. Alas! Hinata looked directly at the small round mirror in her right hand, quite narcissistically. People who love to laugh are usually not too ugly. Although this leader is naturally beautiful and has unparalleled elegance, he still needs the bonus of an acquired smile. The student next to him almost spat out a mouthful of blood after hearing this. This Hinata Hikaru is so shameless. Shameless. In this relatively old-fashioned and conservative world, few people dare to praise their appearance so much. But Hinata Hikaru dared. She looked around at everyone and felt a little strange. Why, is what this leader said wrong? Hinata Hikari had a matter-of-fact expression on her face. The student's denunciation also came to an abrupt end. Although Hikaru Hinata is not very sane, no matter who he is, he must admit that Hikaru Hinata looks extremely cute. The premise is that you shut your mouth obediently and don't speak. And as soon as she opened her mouth, she turned into a beautiful girl of the Kanyan type. Which one do you think is more beautiful, Hinata Hikaru-san or Uchiha Futaba-san? Someone with good intentions suddenly raised this question. Suddenly, whispers and whispers began again. After a while, everyone came to a fact that they had to admit. That is, Hinata Hikari is cuter and more beautiful than Uchiha Futaba. In addition to appearance, there is a special look in those smart white eyes. Although Hinata Hikaru is nervous and talks about my leader, this actually gives her a trace of earthly temperament, which is definitely not seen in others. No one said it, but there was already a comparison in their hearts. Because they paid too much attention to Hinata's mental problems in the past, they always subconsciously ignored Hinata's appearance. After all, no one wants to admit out loud, hey, look at this little psycho, he's so cute, even cuter than us normal people. For a moment, the students looked around. You guys. Uchiha Futaba looked around quickly with a look of disbelief. Quack. Hinata's strange smile came again. The eyes of the crowd are sharp. Alas, my leader is not only outstanding in strength, but also has such a peerless appearance. Under the aura of my leader, life must be very difficult for others. They must be low-key, keep a low profile. When Hinata Hikaru said this, some students were already covering their chests and wanted to call the medical class. This Hinata is so shameless and shameless. Especially Uchiha Futaba, she was so angry. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 50. Haha. Namikaze Minato laughed gently. Because of Hinata Hikaru's innocence, and also because of her peace. After that, those blue eyes looked at Uchiha Futaba. Uchiha Futaba-san, didn't you notice? Your anger is too strong. Namikaze Minato sighed inwardly. Although the more paranoid the Uchiha clan is, the stronger they become. However, Minato Namikaze still believed that the more than 200 ninjas of the Uchiha clan should not all be paranoid. That would be so sad. And more than 1,000 ordinary civilians of the Uchiha clan can live well even if they are not paranoid. The ninjas of the Uchiha clan should also have a solution. Afternoon. Uchiha Futaba said viciously. When you win the test in the afternoon, it's not too late for you to be arrogant. Quack. Hinata Hikaru smiled, turned his head away, and stopped looking at Uchiha Futaba. Well, let's see. It's not just now. When the class test comes, you can wait to be invited out of the ninja school. Uchiha Futaba had something in mind. After that, Futaba Uchiha stopped looking at Hinata, and the fourth period ended in such a storm. At noon, Hinata Hikaru still went to Ichiraku Ramen. In order to prepare for the test in the afternoon, she needs to replenish her nutrition. What nutrition does ramen have? Hinata Xiao asked as she walked on the road. Gaga, noodles are the most nourishing. This is common sense. Hinata Hikaru shook her little head, indicating that Hinata Xiao didn't understand. The power of eating wheat is more than several times greater than that of rice. If I eat wheat, my spirit will be strong, my strength will be sufficient, and my voice will be loud. Rice can only fill the stomach, but has no such effect. Wheat is several times more powerful than ginseng. If you are rich, people take ginseng, but they have no money to use, and they pretend to waste their ears. It cannot really nourish people. Hinata Hikaru's series of docile speeches left Hinata Xiao speechless. He could tell with his toes that Hinata copied it from somewhere. 10 minutes later, Hinata Hikaru came to Ichiraku Ramen. As soon as he opened the door curtain, he saw a familiar figure. What a coincidence, Hikari-san. Namikaze Minato appeared here by coincidence, and greeted Hinata Hikaru with a very surprised look on his face. The corner of R.I. Xiangxiao's mouth twitched. He didn't think it was a coincidence at all. Maybe next time after school, try turning on the white eyes all the way. Afterwards, R.I. Xiangxiao discovered something strange. Namikaze Minato also seemed to have just arrived. This is a bit of a problem. If he had come a long time ago, the ramen would have been served in front of him. If he had just arrived, he and Hinata Hikari had not seen Namikaze Minato along the way. In other words, Namikaze Minato entered Ichiraku Ramen at the right time by coincidence in a very short period of time while they were not paying attention. And this technique allows people to achieve their goals even if they ignore it for a short period of time. Generally called instantaneous body technique, difficulty level D, Genin level. Recorded in Naruto's official book, the Pro Book. From Cage to some outstanding ninja school students, all will use this technique. Depending on the village and the ninja's own qualities, the teleportation technique will also differ. As Konoha's teleportation brought up many leaves. Water teleportation via water transfer. The sand teleportation of the ninjas in the hidden sand village, etc. Of course, the most common one is the ordinary teleportation technique without any skin effects. That is. Hinata Xiao's eyelids twitched. In order to coincidentally get ahead of them, Namikaze Minato used the teleportation technique. Ken. Gaga, it's quite a coincidence. Hinata nodded and took a seat. Then, I waited quietly for Ichiraku Ramen to be served. The allowance for orphans was limited, and Hinata used the money he won from Inyazuka Katsu. And thinking about the problem that if I eat ramen every day, I may not have enough money. Hinata Hikaru couldn't help but think about whether he should meet another unlucky guy and get some money to spend. It's September again. Hinata murmured. What's wrong in September, Hinata Hikari-san? Namikaze Minato tilted his head very familiarly and began to take the opportunity to talk to Hinata Hikaru. It's easier to pay the customs fee again in September. Hinata calculated the remaining balance in her wallet and couldn't help but nod. Eating and drinking in the Hyuga clan's compound is not free. The money doesn't come from prostitution for free. Although eating from a big pot can save a lot of money compared to eating alone, living expenses are also a big expense. All the subsidies from Konoha have been turned in. Yeah, living alone is very difficult. Namikaze Minato is also an orphan. The only inheritance left by my parents is an old house. Regarding the hardships of a person's life, he could take the opportunity to talk to Hinata Hikaru for 3 days and 3 nights, like a friend to an orphan. I am an orphan too. Perhaps because he was ignored, R.I. Xiangxiao said in a strange way. Hinata Hikaru and Namikaze Minato stopped talking for a moment. I thought. Namikaze Minato looked at Hinata Xiao with a very special look. He thought that R.I. Xiangxiao had both parents and was a wealthy family member, so he developed such a proud character. But now it seems that the three have reached a consensus on this point. My parents did not die in the line of duty. The corners of R.I. Xiangxiao's mouth curled up, revealing a sarcastic expression. This is also the first time Hinata Hikari and Namikaze Minato see Hinata Xiao make such an expression. Although she has criticized countless people in the past, R.I. Xiangxiao has never looked at others with a mocking expression. Unlike some people, Hinata Hikari. Aren't you curious why you can't see the elders of the Hyuga clan? Hinata Xiao's topic successfully made Namikaze Minato fall into deep thought. Because they died early. Blood-stain disease, genetic disease. In addition to the benefits of pure blood, intermarriage within the clan also brought huge losses to the Hyuga clan. Early death, short life. This is also the reason why the number of the Hyuga clan always remains within a sparse range. In the Hyuga clan's mansion, there are almost no people with white hair. The number of people who have lived safely into old age can be counted on two hands. The topic suddenly became a bit heavy. Even Namikaze Minato couldn't help but hesitate. What is Rick Xiangxiao hinting at? Really? Hinata blinked without showing any special expression. This is an exception for R.I. Xiangxiao. To change this, we have to marry outsiders. Namikaze Minato said tentatively, looking at Hinata Xiao's reaction. Don't even think about it. Dream. Want to eat shit? R.I. Xiangxiao didn't say that. He just shook his head and said, if nothing else happens, the position of the next clan leader will be held by the eldest son of the current clan leader, Hinata Hayashi. Hinata Hayashi, 12 years old, genin. After inheriting nothing else, R.I. Xiangxiao didn't know, but he knew very well that after Hinata Rizu came to power, the sound of the waves remained the same.